C, back pocket. Okay?
Hey, boys.
All right.
Use your voice all day. Use your voice, okay? Swannaroos on 3. 1, 2, 3. Swannaroos! Let's go, boys! 1, 2, 3, 3.
Strong in that order was fantastic.
We're back here at the Kino South Sports Complex in Tucson, Arizona. 2025 USAFL National Championship presented by Tasmanian continue in the shadow of the mountains here in the middle of Arizona. And it's a men's Division III match between two teams who lost earlier today and are hoping to finish today, National Saturday, at 1-1 as the Portland Steelheads take on the North Texas Devils. Brian Barish here with you alongside Dan Sarbacker, and we are underway here in Division III. We'll tell you about how the teams did a little bit later on, but for right now, it's the Devils wearing the green and the yellow, headed from left to right on your screen of watching choice, taking on the Steelheads in the blue and the salmon and the black, as this one is set inside the 50-meter arc and it's marked, and the Devils will have a chance to set up. And this is Nathan Hatton just putting this ball off to the left. It hangs in the air with a mark. That could be a Tasmanian play of the day. And as he goes back, that was a fantastic setup, Dan, and we'll talk about that in just a moment, but that was David Orr. Yeah. David Orr or David Orr, whatever are you looking for? This meteorologist from the south will catch a football in his mouth. No, wait. I don't know. That just came from my dad somewhere. As this one is sent on the way, it is dead center. Perfect. We have played a minute, and the North Texas Devils have the lead on the Watch AFL scoreboard. They're 1 straight 6. Portland yet to score.
No surprise. Marty Coventry getting the clearance out of the middle for Portland. It wasn't big enough really to clear the lines. North Texas collects, probably were awarded a bit of a generous free kick on the high tackle. Steve Arnott on the whistle here. I'll trust his decision. Looked like maybe just the back of the jumper, but in the end, North Texas gets that build-up. Entry into forward 50, big mark down there, approaching the pocket. Might have still had a decent angle from the middle, but slots. The umpire was keen. He sprinted straight to the center of the goal, so that was good right off the boot.
I was just making sure he was awake. The Devils coming off of a loss, a tight loss to the Boston-Philly combination, 28-23 this morning, and they are moving the ball quickly through Will Lyon. Lyon spelled with a Y as opposed to an I, which we saw them play a little bit earlier today. Good pressure put on as the Sockeyes trying to get it out of there. Ball goes up high in the air, bounces free, picked up once again by Mason. Daniel Mason goes all the way back. They swing it around nicely to James. Goes out to the far side. It was an intended handball looking for the captain and Stephen Bass, one of the two Bass brothers, and we'll have a boundary throw in just to the right of the commentary position.
Fair bit of the play happening between the arcs at this point. Not unexpected for this early in the match, but North Texas hitting the scoreboard first, of course, because they have the forward 50 entry.
North Texas winning the Central Regionals earlier in Division I back in June. That was in Olathe, Kansas, and it's worth mentioning that was a tournament that was devoid of a lot of the top teams, including, say, Denver and Austin, who played out west, as Coventry goes out to the near side. Talk about Tasmania. That's the Derwent Destroyer there, as he was called, in Martin Coventry, who used to play his football here in Tucson with the old Javelinas. As the ball gets marked up on the far side, it gets taken down. There's a shot across the body for Portland, and it just sneaks. Well, it bounced back into the field of play. Big scramble there. The Devils are on top of it. Big tackle, and the question is whether or not he had possession first, and he didn't. It'll be a free kick to the Devils.
Oof, bit stiff there. I thought maybe the ball got knocked out in the collision, which probably could have been a play on, but you know, good things happening for Portland here. That forward 50 entry, they're starting to apply pressure.
The Steelheads combined with the Wasatch War Goals to finish second in Division III at the Western Regionals. They were Division II champions in 2014 or 2015, and then again in 2016. As the ball moves up, they punch the ball forward. Here they come, and that one just went out of bounds. Chasing after it was Kean Kirby for the men in the light blue, and it is still 6-0 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. The Steelheads made it to the Division II Grand Final. That's the highest they've ever been, losing to Minnesota in a classic at Racine, Wisconsin, in the cold of Wisconsin on that day. And I must say here, SARS, is, obviously you look at Coventry as the leader of this team, but you look at some young guys like Max Ducey, who's the captain, Jonathan Benham, who's come up through the ranks the last couple of years. They really have a couple of good young recruits to really help this team go. Yeah, and of course you want to build a side that way. You've got experience and veterans that are teaching the game and helping with the structures and whatnot. You sometimes need those younger bodies to do just this right here. Apply some pace. Holderson there with the tackle. He's going to get the shot on goal as a result of his effort. That's a 1%er right there, applying that tackle. Doing that in forward 50 gives yourselves extra chances at scoring opportunities. Meanwhile, Oliver Holdenson, number 21 for Portland, has been given a free kick here by umpire Steve Arnott. He's at a 45-degree angle to do a cartwheel to try and put him off. Yeah, you're going to need to try harder, mate. He sends that one, and he gave him a pat on the back. Yeah, to some degree. Did you see that? He gave him a pat on the back. To some degree it worked. He pushed it a little bit left, probably might have struck the sticks, so 0-1 on that effort down the field, but he got in his head enough with the somersault straight into the ninja squat. That's USAFL footy, baby. I'm sure I've seen this. I've seen a handstand when I think it was in, what was it, like 2004 when Justin Longmuir won against St. Kilda after the siren, and somebody did a handstand to try and put him off. He did a cartwheel. I mean, those are like good side points, but whatever happened to the old gum on the boot? Woo! On the far side now, it's creative. 6-1 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. And we'll keep an eye on the other games that are happening as the ball has gone near in front. So Portland founded in, as it's through 4 behind, so that's a behind for the Devils. 7-1 the score on the Watch AFL scoreboard. We go around the grounds for Watch AFL and tell you that the Columbus Cats now lead the Nashville Kangaroos, also in D3 action, 2-0. The Cats, they played Arizona and lost earlier today, and the Kangaroos losers to the Chicago Swans. So those two teams are 0-1, and so we'll end up, unless there's a draw, we'll end up with a 2-0 team and 2 1-1 teams. And in this 8-team, we should mention, of course, 8 teams in Division 3, 2 pools of 4, the winner going to the grand final. And you have to feel like if you're one of those teams, if you have a team at 2-0 and you have 2 teams below you at 1-1, you have to feel like you're in a great position. Yeah, of course you are. Still you don't know. You still got to keep winning out, but certainly your confidence is up after that effort. Ball's coming out now in the middle of the ground, and it will be a free kick going the way of the Devils. The Devils founded in 2020. They are located officially in Plano, Texas, but they're all of the Dallas Metroplex. This should be a 50, I think, as they blow the whistle as Mason just booted the ball downfield. They're still acting like this game is played, and that is one of those where you're so intent on it that you don't hear the whistle blow. Yeah, and it's for some reason Steve Arnott's calling it back. Didn't see advantage in that play for whatever reason, or the wrong player played forward. So now Mason here out on the handball to restart. So now they'll play again, and they find Justin Kenna, former LA Dragon, found the USAFL through the Manly Warringah Wolves. They were the Giants at one time, as this one gets punched away. Going after the footy, 2 players collided into each other, and that was Craig Clark, I think, who caught the worst of it. And Clark tripped up from behind as they were both going for the ball, so the umpire awarded that. Probably a tripping call. Maybe it could have been in the back. Doesn't really matter in the end. He's got a free kick and a shot on goal. Final analysis, he has a chance to draw level. He is roughly 55 meters out. When he kicks, he'll probably be about 45. Ski jumped it, got underneath it a little bit, and it is almost marked, went off the chest. There's a steady breeze to that end of the field towards the highway end. And then there's a big tackle, and that'll be pinged. And it will be a free kick
Forward 50 tackles, creating scoring opportunities for both sides here. Portland a few minutes ago, and now here North Texas.
And it's David Orr who will go back. And try and tie, or at least try to extend the lead. Kick is on the way. It is dead center, perfect. Daniel Estes gives the two-finger salute you can show on television. And on the Watch AFL scoreboard, NTX 2-1-13, Portland PDX 1 behind.
So again, a lot of the scoring opportunities generated from forward 50 tackles. That's pressure your forwards apply when you don't have possession. The opposition is trying to rebound out of their back. Instead, you thwart that in some fashion. That pressure that's applied is either going to result in a tackle like we've seen, or potentially a missed kick and you recollect it along the halfback lines. Really critical your forwards pressure highly when you don't have possession on the ball.
Around the grounds for Watch AFL, 2-1 Columbus leads the Kangaroos Division 3. Ball back in the middle of the ground once again, and we'll have a secondary ball up as umpire Steve Arnott separates everybody, tosses it to the heavens, and Clark is in there, and he is able to get the handball out again, looking for Mason. And what is it my dad always says? My father's a Mason. Care to see my bricks? It's if you miss basketball, and that's it. Anyway, the joke was in there. It just was ill-timed as the ball gets sent in, and it'll be sent in. There's a big booming kick towards the pack in the goal square. Portland able to keep it out. Now they got to stay with it. And it's 2-on-2, an ill-advised handball, but what else could you do? Now he's looking for a man. It's going to bounce out to Kenna, and Kenna is wrapped up for Hanukkah, and we'll have a ball up as now a little bit of elbowing and a little too much roughhousing.
Tiny bit of negotiation happening after the play there. Not sure what they were disagreeing about.
I think where to get the best tacos after the
could
game, probably. As this one comes out, drops in front. Portland able to keep it in front of him, but it bounces right to a Devil who winds up, kicks this one on the way, and it's there.
Was it touched on the way through?
Well, the question is
Nope.
whether it was touched.
Nope.
It wasn't. And the other former LA Dragon, Paul Iokum, has kicked the Devils' third. 3-1-19 North Texas, 1 behind Portland. Watch AFL scoreboard.
Maxwell Poor chasing back, trying to get a touch on that. Looks like he missed it. Umpire was right on it to make the call. Unlucky not to get a finger to it, but yeah, North Texas hitting the scoreboard again through the big sticks for 6.
So 3-1-19 North Texas. Score update around the grounds for Watch AFL. Nashville has kicked a goal. They lead Columbus 1-1, 7-3 behind. The Division II Women's Challenge match with DC leading Portland 1-0. That game won't affect either of those teams' status. They'll be playing in Division II tomorrow in the semifinals against the two teams that lose at 4 o'clock, and we'll have one game coming up for you right here in the quarterfinals. There's another chance for a goal, and there's a fourth for the North Texas Devils, and they are just buzzing away with this one early as they go on the 4-1-25 on the Watch AFL scoreboard, 1 behind for Portland. And let me tell you, this North Texas team, we started to say, founded in 2020. When they came in 2021, they lost all 3 of their games. They went on to very slowly go up the ladder over the last couple of years. A lot of people, they were ranked essentially, a lot of people were tipping them to win their pool in Division III a season ago. That didn't happen. And a lot of people were tipping them to be on top here. Philadelphia and Boston may have upended that, but they can stay in if they get a victory.
Well, they've obviously committed themselves. The club's growing, and they're on a great trajectory. They hosted the national team reserves, the Rebel Reserves, this year for a exhibition match. So they're putting themselves up against competition to challenge themselves, and it's showing. They really have the better bit of play here, although turn it over on a throw just now.
So here is Coventry, and Coventry sends this one in, pounded back into the middle of the field, and out in, going to pick this one up going back to get it. Oh, how did that stay in his hand? That's what I want to know. And now rushing through there is Chapman, who sends this one down. It rolls through, kills a family of worms on the way through. It's on the wing position commentary side in front of the mountains, and going to get picked up. And here come the Devils. And nope, it was a whistle before all of that, and in fact, it will go back the other way to the Steelheads.
Steve Arnott signals a hold, so he spotted that, pulled it back, no play on. Wasn't even the North Texas ball, so it got back to the Steelheads to restart.
And they'll send this one on. Not a great kick, but it is stopped and then one-handed into his chest, and there was no prior opportunity before he was held. And we'll have a ball up on the wing position commentary side with under 6 minutes to go here in this first half. Brian Barish alongside Dan Sarbacker, former USA national teamer, current head of the USAFL international program. I know you've got some big plans possibly coming up for next year, which I'm sure will come out at some point. But the ball comes back up high in the air, and this one is moved forward by North Texas. The Devils trying to move it forward. Everybody shoving everybody sideways. In there was, for Portland, was Jonathan Benheim. And we have a free kick going to be given the way of North Texas. And to take it will be Nathan Hatton.
So Portland steadied here a little bit. Things were fast and furious on the scoreboard there for a minute or two. Charlie was typing in scores like crazy, trying to keep us up to speed when North Texas was hot. And I might have spoken too soon because they've just taken another Ford 50 entry, but Portland was good to steady there for a few moments.
Yeah, and they've really, it seems like over the last couple of years, their dynamic has changed, but they really have had like a lot of good young players who've come up through the system. And they've played well, but this North Texas team has slowly built not only their on-field, but their off-field culture. This one's on the way. I think he's trying to coax the umpire. And Daniel Estes says we're going to have a conference.
Gold umpire Daniel got completely distracted by the fight going on between those two players. So he's going to confer with the
it's going to be a behind.
Center umpire who has signaled a behind.
Yep. So North Texas on the Watch AFL scoreboard, they go on to 4-2-26. 4-2-26 North Texas, and one behind for Portland. Thanks to our major sponsors, Tasmanian. Speaking of a Tasmanian, he takes it right in front of us. And they will play it out to the far side. Of course, Coopers visit Tucson. And our thanks to the Australian Consulate in Los Angeles and all of the volunteers from Arizona State University, who I know are down here in enemy territory this weekend helping us out. As this handballs it on. High up over the top, one-on-one contest. Ooh, manages to stay in play somehow. He did the tightrope walk, did Holdenson. Played that one into the middle to Weinstock, who was a veteran of that grand final in 2018. And then rushing all the way through there was Greg Smith. My goodness, he rumbled and fumbled and stumbled his way, but got the handball on, almost taking the mark, but the ball drops down, and out to the near side we go, and we have a whistle, and it'll be a free kick. It will go the way of Portland and Max A.C. Ducey.
Ducey's been good off the halfback for them. Marty probably could have gotten one in the back and one high there afterwards.
Buy one, get one free. Yeah, as the ball is put in, and a good kick, good weighted kick by Chapman.
And Marty's sucking wind after that too. Portland had a little success on the previous sequence working out this side through Marty, but North Texas immediately sniffed that out as they tried it again, and Marty's pulling up a little bit sore as a result.
So it will be Stephen Bass who will go down, and he sends this one on the way. It's hooking left. It was touched on the line, yes. Umpire Daniel Estes says that's a behind, and so 4-3-27 North Texas, one behind Portland, and we have about 2 to go.
Well, Portland will want to readjust at halftime. By no means are they out of this, but they've got to start to build their sequence better and not allow North Texas to rebound so easily. Right here is a great example. Can Portland apply enough pressure, and they do, to tie it up? That's what they want. They got that kick out this direction. If they can't take a clean mark, they at least want to tie up in this zone. Oh, it was paid the other way. That's unfortunate.
Sobol finds a target, and that is Willis. And Willow played well. He was a key forward, and Portland, I think, just completely taken their eye off the road here.
We might have just witnessed the capitulation. That guy was wide open. Ioakim there, wide open there in the forward pocket. So Portland's starting to lose track of their men. Hopefully they can get a rest at halftime and come back. But the hotter end of the day, multiple games on the legs. Everybody's a little tired. The fatigue might be setting in for them, and might be sniffing the inevitable.
Well, there was let's see. There was an infraction in the goal square, so no score on that occasion, and it will be a free kick from the goal square to. Well, hang on a second. We'll double check. I didn't think a point was awarded. I think it was just I heard a whistle, so it looks like it was. Yeah. I second-guessed myself. This is what it's like to hear me do cricket. As this one comes inside, as the ball dances free, and everybody just kind of falls on top of each other here in beautiful Tucson, Arizona. And I'll tell you what, we came out here at about 6 o'clock last night. The lights will most likely take hold for the final game of the day here on this field, and it should be something to see. Sunset at this ground is absolutely picturesque. Handballed back, going to get picked up. They got to hurry. What was that? I don't know. It was a little selling of some candy. Bass sends this one on the way, and it's gone through for another behind. If we're selling candy, could I get some, like a couple of Reese's Pieces and maybe some Junior Ones? What do you
the
want?
Nutter Butters weren't good enough for you early?
Well, but that's not candy, dude.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That doesn't. It's selling candy, not selling Nutter Butters.
Fair
and at halftime here at the 2025 USAFL National Championships in Tucson, Arizona, the score, it's the North Texas Devils, 4 goals, 5 behind, 29 points. The Portland Steelheads, 1 behind only. And SARS, hopefully we didn't see the capitulation of the Portland Steelheads. You know that Martin Coventry, you know that the rest of the team is going to get around it. They'll take a blow. And they got a hit. They need a goal probably within the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're around the sport long enough, you start to see some signs here and there. And, I'm not saying there's a spray coming at halftime, but a bit of a fire-up would be good for Portland at this point. A little more chase, a little more tackle, preventing North Texas from so easily doing what they've done thus far. And really, North Texas has found a lot of different ways to score. They've taken some marks inside 50. They've also built up through their halfback line, running the ball forward. They've gone through a lot of different players. So that makes it harder to have a strategy for the Steelheads. However, it starts with preventing forward 50 entries. If they can increase their tackling, they'll be on their way.
What are you?
Yeah, we're rectifying.
Yeah, you got it.
Here.
North Texas 4-1. Yeah, you got it. You're good.
Yeah,
Thanks, Charlie.
We'll double check the scores at halftime. Charlie's been doing great work
here
all day, but
we'll
volunteer score people on the
double check
scoreboards.
We'll double check, but we'll also tell you around the grounds for Watch AFL. Nashville 3-3-21 leads Columbus 1-3-9. That's in men's Division 3 as well. The Division 2 challenge match for the women's side, DC leads Portland 13-0. Still waiting to hear from Division 5 where Baton Rouge plays Maine. We're going to step aside, come right back with the second half of this one. You're watching the 2025 USAFL National Championships from Tucson here on USAFL. On AussieRulesUSA.com. the second half of the 2025 USAFL National Championships from Tucson. Men's Division III action as the Portland Steelheads trail the North Texas Devils. We've adjusted the score. It's 4-4-28 for the Devils, one behind for Portland. And now the is it a 50? It is a 50. It's a 50-meter penalty, and they kicked it without hearing it. It was as he came over the mark. Marcus Sobel will get it and come downfield, and that is an undisciplined start for the Steelheads.
Exact opposite of what you're talking about, Brian.
Yep.
You know, Steelheads needed to get that goal to steady in the first couple minutes here. The clearance comes out North Texas's way, and as they're preparing to play to kick over the mark, and so 50 paid, he'll have a shot on goal.
Marcus Sobel, a kick on the way. It fades right, and it stays in the field of play. Gonna handball it off, and that one is kicked up high in the air. Big kick down, gonna get shoved through. Big, and everybody got taken sideways. They come out to the near side, goes high up in the air, ball comes to ground. There is Mason, who was able to get to it, sends this one back towards the 6. Daniel Mason, put down your glasses. What a fantastic goal. And that is a punch in the gut for the North Texas Devils. And we said Portland needed to prevent that and get one of their own. Well, it's another one, 5-4-34 to one behind.
Great individual effort, collected the ball, ducked under a tackle, shed another one, and a kick straight on the big stick. So good on him for that. He's had these little flashes of explosive play for North Texas here throughout the game. He's playing on ball right now. He's definitely one to keep an eye on because he's had an impact.
Ball comes back in the middle of the ground once again, and the game this is one of those games where, again, it's Sobel who takes the mark, where Portland just trying to
Another intercept mark there for Sobel. He did that off the first sequence. He did it just here. That's really been the problem point for Portland is the stuff keeps getting rebounded in the middle of the ground. They're not even getting up to their forwards.
Sent in to the goal square. Crash boom opera gonna get kicked out here. Ball goes up high. It is almost taken down. Goes back. Gonna get picked up. Long handball back. Gonna get picked up now by North Texas. Going to go in. Going to get picked up once again by Mason. Mason sends this one in. Ball goes to ground. Going to get sent sideways, and big shove from behind there by Ducey, and the ball goes out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw.
Ryan, injury to number 20 for the Steelheads. Nathan Weinstock went off a moment ago. The way he was carrying it looks like a wrist or elbow or forearm, possibly a fracture. He came up really sore after a contest and saw himself off. He doesn't look great on the sideline right now.
No, not unfortunately. We don't like to see those, and unfortunately in something like this, we'll see those from time to time. But meanwhile, North Texas gets another behind, so they go on now to 5-5-35 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. One behind for Portland. Brian Barish alongside Dan Sarbacker. Glad to have your company as well. Round the grounds for Watch AFL. It's Nashville leading Columbus 21-16, as both of those teams 0-1 earlier today. It was Chicago and Arizona who were both 1-0 in that group, and the Hawks 41-14 winners in the last game, the game that you saw here thanks to Dan Sarbacker and Jason Becker. And in the other group, well, we'll go back and check that in a moment. The other Division III game, it's Philadelphia and Boston, who are out to 2-0 with Minnesota at 1-1. So these two teams trying to keep pace. That one's on the way, and that one is a good football goal. That is another goal for North Texas. It is their sixth. They go to 6-5-41. Well, we'll double check it. 6-5-41 to one behind, 40 points the lead.
Yeah, well and truly out of reach at this point. Portland will catch their breath here for a second because the ball got pinned between the electrical units and the fence just beyond the goals back there. Someone's sneaking back there. Hope they don't get a shock going to fetch that football. But all the play is of North Texas at this point. They rebound the ball extremely well through the middle of the ground, and they've had all the bit of play in their forward half.
Now here they come once again on a Saturday afternoon here in Tucson, Arizona. As the ball gets picked up on the far side. One player went down, and that's Mason, who caught one to the head, and then one of his own players tripped over him in the process, and then the ball ran around him. I'll tell you what, that's all sorts of chaos happening, and poor Daniel Mason is perhaps copped one in the head. And
it's all happening, BB.
It is all happening, and finally the umpire stopped play. And they will attend to Mason, and I believe the clock has. I'm curious as to whether or not they have stopped the clock.
He's going to go have a breather. Looks like he caught one maybe on the side of the head,
yeah.
temple. That's what he keeps rubbing. But
and then one of his own players, SARS, kind of just accidentally ran into him too, like bowled over him on accident.
Yeah, he was on the ground and definitely not trying to sell or play for a free. I think he legitimately got hit in the head, and the call was missed.
Has a kick on the way, sailing to the left and through for a behind, and so they keep peppering the goals. It's like the pepper that you get in a whipped cream and a farmhouse bagel, and it's North Texas going to 6-6-42, Portland 1 behind. We have our first score report as we head around the grounds from Division 5, Maine 3-4-22, leading Baton Rouge 1 behind. In Division 5 action, 4 teams playing a round robin today and tomorrow, and the top 2 playing again in the grand final tomorrow afternoon.
Brian, what we're seeing out of Portland at this point is really even not even getting to the other end of clearing kicks, and it's just not going to come together for them if they can't provide a contest at those. Don't have to mark them, but the ball's got to come to ground, and they're not giving themselves a second chance with that.
So ball incoming on a beautiful day here in Tucson, Arizona. It's going to be a little, as we say, going to be a little warmer tomorrow, maybe about another 5 degrees Fahrenheit warmer. Mark taken. Was it paid? Yep. It appears that it wasn't.
We'll go through a fair bit of sunscreen and water through the weekend.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, that's every Nationals weekend, except for the one weekend we were in Racine, Wisconsin. Oh, he stretched himself out to try and take the mark. And
I dare say for the old-timers, Colorado Springs in the snow, that was hand warmers and footies that weekend.
That was my first Nationals, and I can't, and I stuck around.
You came back.
I did.
It was extraordinary, the snow coming in sideways.
I'll tell you what, we spent an hour and a half in the van in between games with the heat on. I don't want to think about how much gas we wasted that weekend. The ball moves up on the far side now. That is a long time ago, and here we are just on the other side. Through for another behind. So they've scored 2 behinds in succession, and North Texas now goes on to 6-8, I believe. Just watching the score. Yep, 6-8-44 to 1 behind.
It was unkind of us. 20 years ago, the women's comp started, and the very next Nationals after that, we tried to freeze them out.
Well, no, that would have been 2006. Would have been Vegas. I think Vegas was in
right.
2006. Yeah,
you're right. So
it was the other way. Yeah. In 07 was Louisville.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It was 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
And it was. And I'll tell you what,
I stand corrected. Your mind is a steel trap.
For things that aren't terribly important. Now you asked me to remember to do something important, and then again, remember my laptop cord. There's something else. But there was Arizona and Calgary in a game on Saturday, and I was a goal umpire, and I thought I was going to need flares. There's a chance in front, and it goes over the. They were looking for perhaps out on the full, but it's going to be a boundary throw in. And again, North Texas looking to add some more. And a situation here, especially, when you're dealing with Philadelphia. Should they lose to Portland tomorrow, and North Texas, if they can build up a pretty big advantage. I mean, the Philly has played 2 relatively close games. Then a percentage may come into play should they lose and should Portland possibly win.
So we talk about percentage. For those that aren't familiar, this is just a goal differential or a score differential. So we see these 44 points for North Texas and only conceding 1. that's used as a tiebreaker, and it's really important. There in Australia is zero cultural acceptance for mercy rules like we would have here in the States. All of us sort of grow up with, oh, don't punish them too badly if you're winning by a lot, take a foot off the gas. None of that happens in Australia. It's not part of the game. It's not part of the culture. If you're getting flogged, get better.
Yeah, I know. Good mark taken on the far side there. And they'll go back quickly. In fact, it was Daniel Zorni. No, check that. That's the other side. That was Holdenson once again. Yeah, every once in a while we'll see a score out of like Country South Australia or Country Victoria where a team kicked 519 or scored 519 points. In fact, we saw that. The team that did that ended up winning a premiership 2 years later, which was nice to see. But, yeah, you see that a lot. And they've talked about doing that in Queensland. I think in Queensland they have in some of theirs they have a rule. But I have an idea, and I'll extrapolate it a little bit more after we have this boundary throw. And I think, and I don't know that you do this at the AFL, but I think at junior levels, you give 12 points if you win in the table if you win a game. You do 6 points if it's a draw, and then you do 2 points for every quarter that you win. And if you draw a quarter, you get 1 point. So it's a 20-point must system.
Gives you incentive to keep playing hard if you're getting flogged.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I call it the Barish method.
Well, somebody out there who's running an administrative role for a league somewhere, give it a try. Run it on a test drive. Let us know how it goes.
Absolutely. And here is Holdenson once again, who sends us one, a nice backwards mark. So here's Portland. They finally woken up, and here's Austin Snow. And Snow with the mark about 35 meters out.
Well, Portland was
there was the gum on. There was the gum on the shoe. I saw it. I saw it. There's the Rocky. There's, let's say, the kick is on the way. Well, it kicked it through him, but it went to the right, but it stayed in play, and in fact was marked on the last line of defense. Touches the ball to the ground, puts it on down, kicks this one up through the middle of the ground now, goes up high, going over, and mark. Seen some good high marks taken in this match, and it's Willis who takes the mark. Willow, as they call him, goes into the middle of the ground, plays this one up high. Going to be a one-on-one contest, but nope, it's going to be taken all the way back, and done so by Sam Brookham. Comes out to the near side, going to be marked by Martin Coventry. Marto turns around, drops in front. The Steelheads with it now, sending this one in. Once again, that is Stauffer, but he turns it over. The Steelheads were founded roughly 20 years ago. They were the Portland Power originally, and then in 2010 they dropped the Power affiliation and became the Steelheads. And the women's team originally was called the Bridgetown Banshees. In fact, the first nationals they were at, I want to say it was 2014. They were alongside San Francisco, and they changed their name to the Portland Sockeyes a season later.
The regional flora and fauna often inspiring team names. I don't know that's the case for the Wisconsin Wombats.
I was going to say, or the Atlanta Kookaburras.
Correct. But some of the USAFL clubs taking inspiration from their local areas.
Yeah, I like the fact that I'm going to die on this hill. I prefer that teams use non-AFL names. I mean, you think about the Minnesota Freeze. You think about the Houston Lone Stars. I mean, this is the same league that's giving us the Fort Lauderdale Fighting Squids.
Yeah, the original names certainly are fun. The upside of an AFL club name is you might have a bit of a affiliation and get some old wool jumpers off of them when your club starts up. So
yeah,
as we did in St. Louis, we wore the old woolies from Carleton for a number of years.
Yep, and it just so happens that there was a professional hockey team with the same name. Holdenson has the football with a good steal, and then is going to play this one up on the far side. One-on-one contest. Ball goes to ground. And over to get to it and overrunning the football. Now it's a one-on-one. Looks like a rugby scrum situation. A little bit of grappling and holding and things of that nature. Umpire's okay with that. Oh, he got his own handball, but that is tackle from behind. Gus got the kick away, though, and sent back by Coventry. Dropped in front. Ball goes into the pocket. And it will stay in play for now before getting the ball away. Good job there by Sean Dixon to do so. And then turning this one in, going up high, marked nicely, and brought in by Bartnick. Bartnick has a bounce, has a look. Directing traffic. Thought about having a second one. Now goes in tight. Going to go. And goes this one off into the pocket. Soccers it on to himself. Dabs it out in front, looking for Silva, but it's going to get cleared out by Portland. 5 minutes to go in this game, and North Texas looks well and truly home unless Portland can manage to score 7 goals in that 5 minutes, and it may be impossible, but a mark is taken, and they'll have a chance to add some more. And so North Texas will go to 2 as they kick that one through. That's another goal. 7-8-50. A half century. Raise the cricket bat to 1 behind for Portland. And on the Watch AFL scoreboard around the grounds, Nashville is out to a 10-point lead in what looks to be a barn burner against Columbus. They lead 5-3-33 to 3-5-23.
I'll tell you, Brian, over the last few rounds, we've seen some blowouts here, but some close games going on the rest of the park.
Absolutely. And, North Texas is going to go to 1-1 behind 2-0 Philadelphia. Minnesota, who is also at 1-1. So North Texas is going to play Minnesota. And then the winner of that game is just going to have to hope that Portland can upset Philadelphia and make it out of this Pool B. And from what I've seen, what I've heard, it's been talking to the Philly boys, a lot of Boston's players have really risen to the top, especially Jared Fernandez, who kicked a bag of goals.
Well, a time-honored tradition of USAFL Nationals Saturday evening doing complex math to try to figure out what your odds are of getting through and what you have to do and who has to score what. The only ones that have a clear path at that point are the 0-2s, and they get on the piss.
Yeah, pretty much. I've been there before as they come out to the near side. Although I like to be – I figured that was my time to shine, so I wasn't on it until Sunday morning. Sunday evening, I would say, as the mark is taken by North Texas. Playing it out to the far side there was the vice captain and Kyle Bass. And they'll play it up on the far side. The ball gets handballed back. Staying with it there is Sobel, who is nice and calm. Calm down, said Ray Chamberlain when he was our umpire. This was a kick from the right side. We should mention, we'll do that in a second, Matthew Young from the AFL umpires is here. He's umpired 45 games at AFL level, and he was here. He's here observing some of our umpires. Got a chance to talk to him yesterday.
We appreciate that help for the
Here's a chance for Portland. There it is, I think, off to the side. Nope. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, big thanks to the AFL umpires that came over. We talked about it earlier today, and a big contingency of folks that pay their own way to just come help us out. They get an end-of-year trip out of it, but we get a ton of mentorship, which is, we think, a great exchange. Hopefully they have a fun time in the States, a fun time at Nationals.
Yep, absolutely.
Brian, I want to revisit the mascots. We've got a unique situation here. You say you're not a fan of AFL mascots. Well, our North Texas Devils got there before Tasmania. Where do you fall on that one?
You know what? I think that's the Tasmanian Devils has been like a VFL and a junior side or a lower level side, but I think it's great, and I think that there's, especially in the lead up to them getting Tassie. So I like it. I think it's fantastic. It'll be interesting to see if they take the Tassie Devils logo when they do become officially a club in 3 more years' time, I believe.
Yeah, the women come in 2 and the men in 3. I got to double check my timeline on that. And
stadium's
got to get done.
Chance off the outside of the boot. Did he get that? Don't tell me he got that. No, off to the side, off the foot of Paul Iokum, who has been, he's been turning all sorts of magic in the forward line, first, as we say, for L.A., and now lately for North Texas. 7-9-51 for North Texas, 2 behinds for Portland. Around the grounds on the Watch AFL scoreboard, Maine 6-6-42, Baton Rouge 3-1-19. That's in Division 5 play.
Great effort for the Maine Cats.
Absolutely.
Fantastic to see them in a standalone side this time. I think they're the only one in that division. Maybe have 1 or 2 infield players, but largely it's just them. So good to see them getting the result.
They have 1 from, as that one goes through, another behind. So Watch AFL scoreboard is back out to 50 points, 52-2. They have 1 player from the Wilmington Bombers.
There you go.
But that was Nick Parker, who was an original member of the Maine Cats, who moved down to Wilmington as well. So they're going to be 2-0 as we keep an eye on that. They're having beaten North Carolina / Des Moines earlier, and So North Carolina and Des Moines, that combination are 1-1. And Baton Rouge is going to be 1-1, and then 0-2 is going to be the Virginia Lions. So those teams will play tomorrow, and remembering that the top 2 in that 4-team division will play in the grand final.
Nice mark there, right in front of us, Brian. Again, just kind of shows what North Texas has done all day. They've prevented Portland from building out, and rebounded the ball extremely well.
And the final hooter goes, and the North Texas Devils never really worried in this match as they go on to a 50-point victory on the Watch AFL scoreboard in this Division III game. It's the North Texas Devils, 7 goals, 8 behinds, 52 points. And that says 7 goals, 11. I don't know where that all came from. 7 goals, 11, 53 points. 7, 11, 53. And then 2 behinds for the Portland Steelhead. So, as we say in Pool B, Philly and Boston, that combination are 2-0. North Texas and Minnesota at 1-1, and Portland at 0-2, and the Hawks and Demons combination in the catbird seat to make the grand final. Well, we'll be back. When we come back, we've got the women's quarterfinal match. The Golden Gate Iron Maidens taking on the Arizona Hawks. The winner will be in Division I. The loser will be demoted down to Division II. That should be a fantastic game. We'll have it for you when we return. You're watching the 2025 USAFL National Championships from Tucson, Arizona, here on AussieRulesUSA.com.